Task 3, Spreadsheet. As usual, this is a new task and we're going to read the whole question before we attempt any question. So you're going to prepare a spreadsheet model to calculate the travel costs to view a property. All currency values are in Indian rupees to 2 decimal places. Now I think this is important, so we should really highlight this. So 2 decimal places and Indian rupees. Okay, maybe undo and select it again. Yes. Okay, and save that. 14. Create and format a spreadsheet that looks something like this. Notice that row 2 is somewhat hidden. Save this as your name, automated file name, screenshots, 2 new columns. It looks like this. 4 as well, it looks a bit hidden. Some screenshot, enter some formula, finish the unfinished test plan in your evidence document. Okay, fine. Apply formatting to row 5, save and print. Okay, add this information to the table. Fits single page, visible, and evidence. Okay, seems pretty easy enough. Let's get started. 14. Create a spreadsheet that looks like this. So, as usual, we go to our LibreOffice and File, New Spreadsheet. Okay, and as before, we should always save the spreadsheet before working on it. Okay, so we should File, Save As, and save it in the folder that we are working with. So M16 underscore center number and then candidate number. Save that. Okay, so replace it. I had a similar file name before, and we need to enter this information. So can Salim properties, and then in row 3 property ID, location, price, distance in kilometers, travel cost. Okay, you notice that there's this red triangle. Now for LibreOffice, as we have seen in Office Base, there is the same similar red triangle. It means that the information in a certain cell or column is too narrow so that it shows that there's more information. Now before we do that, to increase the width of column D, what we need to do is we notice that the text here seems to be bold, so Command B, and it is italic. Okay, and we also know that this seems to be bold, but it is in white text. And before that, we also know that it spreads through till column E, so we need to merge and center. So merge and center pressing here, and I think it's pretty big, so we can increase the font size to say 16. And to change the property, you format the cells, the background to set the color to be black. Click OK, and there you go. And then finally select the column, and then you see when you move your cursor to between the 2 columns, this 2 directional arrow will appear, and you double click that and it will resize itself to the width of the bigger cell. Okay, so it seems correct. It looks quite like that. Okay, maybe a bit bigger, smaller, but okay. And we save that, Command S. So we are done with that. Oh, click this, create, it looks like this, save. Next, place an automated file name which includes the file path on the left in the header. Okay, so what we need to do is to insert header and footer, and here you can see that we can insert left, so header, footer, and there are some information that we could select from. So this is like a quick select, and we could see that our file is here. Okay, it's here. So what we could do is just the file path, so we can click this, and in the header, and we click and see what it looks like. So now we can't see it, but we can always file print or print preview. In this case, print preview. Okay, so it seems to be inserted, but it is in the middle. Seems to be in the middle. So we close that and we try that again. So headers and footers. So notice that this is in the center area and it will center itself. So maybe we can custom position. No, we can't do that. So cancel that. And I think what we want is to select this and cut it and paste it here. See whether it works. So it's here. So left area. So it is customized. All right, and we try that again. Save that and file print preview. And there you go. So it's now left aligned with the full path. Okay, so this seems to be correct. And I think we are done with that. So we check that. Take a screenshot showing A1 to E3 of the spreadsheet, including the row and column headings. Place this in your evidence document. All right. So remember to also make row 2 kind of small, because that is what is required. And we save that, and we can Command Shift 4, take a picture. Again, Command Shift 4, take a picture of the software and the file name, and then we can just take a screenshot like this. Okay, that's good. So put it in as evidence 6. So documents, evidence 6, and we can drag that into evidence 6. So 1, 2, 3. So okay, that's fine. And go back to Finder and insert into evidence 6. And there should be 1, 2, 3 spaces, and we are done. So we are done, including the row and column headings. So row and column headings. Right, so we can see that. Okay, so insert 2 new columns between C and D. Between C and D. So here we can just control, meaning right click, insert columns after, and insert columns after. So between C and D. So, and that new column is area and price per square meter. Okay, and we should make it look like that. Okay, so 4, we're gonna make it a little bit very small, just like 2. Okay, very narrow, and we can spread this a little bit so we can have more space to see. And area, we can double click so that you can resize. So what we can't do this because then it will stretch all the way to the right. Okay, so you take up the width of the bigger cell. So you can see here what the question requires is that there should be wrap text. Wrap text. So what we can do is we can do wrap text. You can see here wrap text, and we want to do this. So okay, so you can see the red arrow coming up. So maybe we can make it smaller first and then wrap it. And sorry, wrap this. Oh, and wrap this. There you go. So price per square meters. So move it a little bit, and then distance in kilometers, maybe like this. Okay, and travel cost to where C is, and then property ID where I is. And the rest seems to be okay, and it seems to be center aligned, so let's make it center aligned. And it has a gray, yes, a gray backing, so we're gonna control click, format cells, and then the background we can choose colors to be a gray, so 20% gray. Click that, and it seems that we are done. So 2 columns. Edit, it looks like that. Take a screenshot showing A1 to G5, so A1 to G5 here. Okay, 5, including row and column headings. Place this in your evidence document. So just like before, we need to save this, Command Shift 4, and then select up to 5 at least, and then this is the software that we're using. Take that, go to Finder, name it as evidence 7, go to our evidence file here, and drag that down to evidence 7. Evidence 7. Okay, as usual, we should move this down. Okay, evidence 7, and save that. And we are done. In cell E5, enter a formula. So go back. To calculate the price per square meter, which is the price divided by the area. So price divided by the area. Use a function to round this value to 0 decimal places. Okay, so price. So let's put in some price. I do not know what the price is. So maybe say 1 million, maybe. I'm not sure what the property prices are in India. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million. So 1 million. Okay, enter that. And you see that it shows the pound or the hex sign. Again, it is a way of the software telling us there's not enough space. So we can always double click that. And price, usually I want to put it as a currency. So is there like conditional? No. So currency. So currency is here. So we can default it to be pound. Okay, set this as pound and spread it. Okay. And it has 2 decimal places. Okay, we remember 2 decimal places. Now for area, I'm not sure, maybe 100 square meters house. And price per square meter should be this divided by this. So C5 divided by D5. Again, we double click to show. Okay, give it some space. Okay, so 10,000 pounds per square meters. And it says 0 decimal places, and we should use a function. So a function is here, as you can see. In this case, to 0 decimal places. So what we can do is, what are the available ones? Okay, so we can look at the function list. Functions. So address and synchronous average. I think it should be round, if I'm not wrong. Okay, round. So we scroll down to round. There you go. OPQR. So maybe. So normally if it's 0.5, we round up. So our common practice is round up. So we should do round up. Round up. So the formula should be round up this. And click OK. Okay. So it rounds up, but it displays 0. To round this number to 0 decimal places. Okay. Of course, we can do formatting. For example, here, format as a number. Format as a number. So we can unclick. So we can display numbers to have decimal places or not. So in this case, 0 decimal places, we can reduce any leading zeros, and it should look like this, 10,000 pounds. Okay, so that should work, but we'll see. So save that, and I think we are done. I had a look further into the round up function that we used earlier. Now, according to this question, it says to round this value to 0 decimal place. Now, the round here would mean that it will follow the normal rules of mathematics. For example, if it is a 0.5, you will round up to the next whole number. But if it is less than 0.5, say 0.4, it will not be round up. I also made a, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but we set the display to have no decimal place. Now, this is having a 0 decimal place doesn't mean that you don't show the decimal. So one is a display issue, one is a round issue. So let's fix that. So first, let me explain a little bit about roundup. Now, roundup means when you have, say, 50.1, all right, this will be rounded up to the next whole number, which is 51. Okay, so this is not the normal sense of mathematics, in the sense that only at the half point, so 0.5, you round up. Less than that, you do not round up. So we're going to fix that by making it round instead of round up. And then the second parameter of the function is to set the number of decimal place. So in this case, we set it at 0, and then we will accept that and check that it is correct. Now, our initial task or the instruction says that we should really set it in 2 decimal places. So in this case, we can set it as, well, we can undo that. But we can format cells, and we can set it as before, where we can set it as 2 decimal places and leave it as that. So that should fix question 17. Let's move on to 18. In cell G5, enter a formula to calculate the total cost to this, the travel cost to this property, and this is 10 rupees plus a certain number or a certain formula. If it is less than 6, it is not less than 6. And then round the travel cost up to the next whole rupee. So round up. Okay, so this is a little bit different. So okay, 6 seems to be the delimiter. So let's set it as some example, some numbers that we can calculate. So let's set it as 5, 6, and 7. And here you could enter equals to 10 plus a condition, because if something happens, it will take a certain formula or a certain number, and if something does not happen, and it will take some other calculation. So in this case, if this cell, the reference cell, is less than 6, then if it is true, so the second parameter is true, then you will add, so it will be 7.5. Or if it is not true, it will be the distance, in this case f5 again, multiplied by 1.5. Okay, and let's see. Okay, it's 17.5. Does it make sense? So it is less than 10, and it will be 1.5. Did I make it right? So if is f5 is less than 6, then you'll be 7.5. If not, then you'll be f5 times 1.5. So in this case, it should be 12, no, 17, yeah, that's correct, 17.5. So that makes it correct. And we can just copy this and check. So 6 is not less than 6, so 6 and above, you would apply this formula, the multiplication of 1.5. So you will have 10 plus 6 times 1.5, which is 9, and 9 plus 10 is 19. So this seems right. Okay, and 7 times 1.5 is 10.5 plus 10, so this seems right. Okay, so Indian rupees, and then round up. So now what we could do is, we didn't round up, okay, and so we leave it as that. So we can add in the formula round up this time, so use correctly. Okay, if something happens, it is this. Okay, and we can say, we'll just leave it like that because the rest is display. Round up to the next number, next whole rupee, next whole rupee. So we will set it as 0 as well. Okay, okay, copy and paste. Pasting that already contained data. So yes. So 19 remains the same because it doesn't round up. 20.5 previously, and this is 17.5 now, so it rounds up. And it says rupee, but we notice that our display is in pounds. So what we can do is we can set the display, so format cells, and we can choose the currency, and we can set it to be in Indian rupees, so in this case INR, English, and we say leading to the next whole rupee. Okay, so again it's a display issue, so we will still set it as 2 decimal place like this. Okay, so remember I was saying earlier, one is a round up issue, a whole number issue, and the other one is a display issue. So since our display requires us to show 2 decimal place, we'll leave it like that. And I think we are done for this as well. So 1 and 2. 19. Complete the unfinished test plan in your evidence document. Replace letters A and B with suitable headings. Choose 3 pieces of test data. Step 18. Complete the test table. Take screenshots from your tests and place this in the test plan. Make sure that the test data and results are clearly visible. So let's go to our evidence folder. And question 19 seems to have the test plan. Okay, so we need to fill this up. So let's say the reference cell is F5 maybe, and the formula tested is, we can just copy this. So select all, copy, and the formula is this. So round up plus 10 and so on and so forth, and then we set it to be round up to the next number, not showing the decimal place, but in the end we override that with the display. Okay, so we can cancel that, and so this is done. So the test data is, we'll just copy that, what we have done, 6 and 7. Why it is chosen is less than, obviously is less than 6, is equals to 6, and of course up. So, and it is greater than 6. Okay. And we can click out. Now here, because equals is a formula, we can use the apostrophe, single apostrophe, to show that it is text. Okay, and then we can set it, and then see, we click up. Okay, so it remains as text. So we should save this, and A is expected value. So what you think it is, it may happen before the test, and the actual that you observe. Okay, so since we can expect by using the formula, then the actual value is actually the same. So we're expecting 18.0. So the rest is so this is a rounding issue. We are testing the round up and not the display. So we can leave 18 just like that, 19 and 21. So 18, 19 and 21. Does the formula works? The answer is yes. Copy, yes and yes. Remedial action required, no. Okay, copy, no and no. And we save that. And that seems to be done. Okay, so we've done that. Make sure that the test data and the results are clearly visible. Take screenshots from your test and place this in the test plan. Take screenshots from your tests and place this in the test plan. So we need to place this in the test plan. So we can take a screenshot of this like that, and we need to place them clearly visible. So we can, will be question 19, and then we're gonna insert it up. Okay, and question 19, and this is the evidence. Okay, the evidence that this has been done. Okay, the distance. Save that, and let's get back to the question. Make sure that the test data and results are clearly visible. So it is visible. 20. Apply appropriate formatting to row 5 of the spreadsheet. Row 5 of the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is row 5. I think, have we applied it correctly? So it's in 2 decimal places. 100. So let's see, not this. Go back to the question. And only if it is in rupees to 2 decimal places. Now this is round up, so this is not in rupees, and this is, so price is in currency, and travel cost in currency. So this seems right. So 5 seems to be correct, row 5. And this is done. 21. Save and print the spreadsheet showing the formulae. Make sure it fits in landscape and all cells are fully visible, and make sure our name, center number, and candidate number are fully visible. So first up, perhaps we could enter our header and footer. So we go to our left area. So let's see. So headers is the file path, that's correct. And in the footer, we don't need this. And then on the left, Cambridge Prep CP001 9999 with a space. And we click that and we save. Next, we need to show the formulas. So we need to go to View and then Show Formula. As usual, when you see this, that means the width of the cell is too narrow for the content to show. So we can double click that to show the formula. So we save that. Next, it needs to be in landscape. So what you need to do is to go to Format, Page Style, and then go to Page, and then it's already A4. You choose Landscape. There's one more thing you need to click, which is Formulas. Now let's click the formulas and I can show you. So save that. So when you want to print, as I always prefer for you to print it as PDF before printing in preview. So you want to save this, okay, and you get a preview. So you have your formula, okay, the rest, the price is correct. You have the file path and you have your name, center number, and candidate number. So this seems right. All right, so what if we do not click formula? So we can try that, save, and file, export, and we do that, save that, replace, and you can see that the formulas are not shown. So this is very important. All right, so this, you need to really click this. So okay, and save that, and you want to export, and then you want to replace it. Replace, replace, and you can see that all the things are here. So we have done this. Completed and completed. Let's call it print out 1. So we can say print out 1. Okay. 22. Add the following property to your spreadsheet. So some data to enter. Print showing the value, so this is different, not the formula but the value, single page and cells visible, and then this is the same. All right, so let's enter some information. So first we want to view the values and not the formula, and we need to enter the information. So in this case we want to make things a little bit having more space. All right, so property ID CP1007, and then location Donna Paula Panjim, give it some space, and the price is, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 22 million, 22 1 2 3 4 5 6, and the area is 171, and that should automatically calculate. And the distance is 28.1, and we don't need this anymore, and we can delete. So we can give it a little bit more space to expand out. But when we do that, this can be seen. So distance in kilometers. Okay, so 28.1. All right, so this looks to be right, and then we save. So this has been entered, and then we need to file print to have a look. So again, export as PDF. The name, center number, and candidate number should already be there, and we export. So we just call it printout 2 and save. It didn't show. So what happened? Okay, so let's find out. So this is one of the reasons why we should always print to PDF before sending to the printer. You do not want to waste time. You want to see that you are right. Okay, always print to PDF. Okay, so it seems to be right. It's not that there's not enough space. There is enough space. Maybe it's the format. So we go back to page styles, and yes, because this is checked, it will print the formula. And if it's a formula, the width of the cells is not big enough, hence the hex or pound sign. So we save that, and we try again. Save as property, and then print out 2, save, replace, and there you go. So all this should be correct. And then you have your name, and this is all printed. They are all seen. There's no problem. So you can close that. Now, one thing you can do is you can use your calculator to calculate whether the distance is correct. So this is more than 6. So what you need to do is 10.1, which is the value, times 1.5 plus $10, which is 52. And since as long as it is not a whole number, any decimal place that comes after, you will round it up to the next number, which is 53. So this seems to be right. And we have at the following information, we have printed out, and all cells are visible, and the printout has my name, center number, and candidate number. Save and print your evidence document. Printout 3, you have entered your name on your evidence document. So this seems to be done, and let's go to our document, evidence document. So question 19, 16, 14, 13, 12, evidence 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to go through again, 5, 6, and 7. And this is called the test plan. And it seems right, so we can save this. And as usual, we should always export it as PDF before printing. So export, and we call it the same name, and 9999. So notice that all of them are easily visible in the test plan, and we have saved, and we have printed out, and we have finally completed paper 3 and the entire 2 practical paper 2 and 3. Congratulations, you have reached this far, and I'm sure you will do well in your exam. Good luck, and I hope to see you very soon.